Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. I'm Katie V. Danelle Moriarty, and I'm a quantum healer and coach. And I work with women to empower them into their fullest expression and leadership in their own life and business. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I do live in the middle of Sydney, and there is some works happening around my building in terms of construction work. So there may be a little bit of background noise. Just is what it is, I can't do anything about it. Just ignore it. That's part and parcel of living in a big city. But I wanted to do this video anyway because I wanted to talk to you about a very important topic, which is honoring our boundaries. And so when we tune into what self-love really means for us and what self-care really means for us, we often think of things like, how can I love my body more? Or how can I look after myself better? Should I go and book a massage? Should I do something nice for myself? And to me, one of the most important ways in which we can actually truly show love to ourselves and honor ourselves, the biggest, most ultimate act of self-care is truly honoring our boundaries. And so if you're someone like me, I grew up in a household where boundaries weren't a thing. It wasn't a particularly great upbringing. It was pretty toxic. And so my needs weren't considered. And so therefore my boundaries weren't very strong. I was very used to people walking all over my boundaries and disrespecting my emotional, mental, and physical space. And so if you're someone that struggled in the past, like if you found yourself dating guys or in relationships or even at work where you struggle to use your voice and say no when you don't want to do something, and say yes to things that you don't really enjoy, or a way that this used to play out for me in my adult life is that because I was quite a empathetic, self-aware person, and would consider how, and this doesn't mean I was perfect, none of us are, but I would consider how other people might feel if their boundaries were crossed or encroached on. I would be a little bit aware of that, and I would find that I would constantly interact with people that would blatantly cross my boundaries and that had no emotional intelligence or awareness, who wouldn't see that there was a problem with the fact that they were crossing a line. And the way that I now view this, when we consider like true healing work, true personal self-development sort of work, is us taking radical responsibility for what's going in our life. So for me, the most empowering day I had in my life is when I looked at my life and went, I've created all of this mess, this situation. I come out of a very toxic, abusive relationship. I just was unhappy in my life. I didn't like my friendship group. I felt unsupported. I, was stressed about money. I had money patterns, even though I had plenty of money. I just realized that I was in a bit of a shit storm of my own making. And I was like, cool. If I make the decision, which can be uncomfortable, to look at all of this and decide that I've created it, I give myself sole power to change it. Because if I'm creating it, I can change it. But if I'm going to sit here and blame and judgment of other people for the things that aren't going right in my life, I give them my power. And it's like I'm a slave. I'm in this prison of this for the rest of my life because I've given my power away. And so I looked at what part of me, with all these people crossing my boundaries, not respecting me, my time and my space, and just what's, fair and right, what part of me is available for this? What is this showing me about myself? And so the thing about it is, if we don't have strong boundaries, we will encounter people that cross them and sense that. And that's a co-creation. And it can be from small issues to really, really big things that can play a massive role in our life. And so the best way for you to truly honor yourself is to start to, even though it's uncomfortable, is to actually honor your boundaries, which means when you don't want to do something because it doesn't feel good and your gut instinct is like, I don't want to go to that thing, or I don't want to go on this date, or I don't want to see this person again, or I don't want to, someone needs my help and actually I'm feeling really drained, or it's going to cost me a lot of my time and energy at a moment where I really need to look after myself. It's learning to use your voice and actually just, without bringing your emotion into it or being defensive necessarily, but whatever way feels good for you, is just actually saying, no, I'm not available for that at the moment. someone's talking really negatively and you're feeling uncomfortable, or you're feeling like it's lowering your vibration, it's just, hey, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. It's not in alignment with, the good place that I find myself in at the moment. Would you mind if we change the subject? It's saying no to invitations when you genuinely want to say no. It's if someone is disrespecting you, it's just letting them know. The more that you do that, and there's a saying, we get past what we say no to, the more, and I've spoken about this before, the more that you actually show up for you and honor that, even when it's uncomfortable. In the beginning, when I started doing this, I would feel anxiety. I would be like, oh my God, I've offended this person, or I've upset them. And I'd be thinking more about them. And I'd be thinking, they think I'm a bitch. They think I'm rude. They think I'm this. They think I'm annoying. But every time that I did it, I gained more self-confidence. I gained more self-worth. I gained more strength. And my relationship with myself deepened and got better. So if you want to build a better relationship and connection with yourself, this is a way to do it. It's tuning into your intuition. It's tuning into your own channel. We generally know. I can count so many times where my intuition told me no, and I went and did something anyway, and then had to learn the hard way. So the more that you do that, when we think about the realms of possibility available to us, and the people and the co-creations that are happening, and the people that we need to meet to teach us lessons, the more that you start saying no when you mean no, and speaking your truth and honoring that boundary, the less interaction you'll have with people that cross them. You will open up new pathways in your life where you meet different types of men. You have different types of friendships. You have different relationships with people at work. You have employers or clients that honor you and respect you and love you, and you'll stop attracting in people and experiences that test your boundaries, because everything's always happening for us, and the invitation is there when something like that happens for you to step forward and say, actually, I'm not okay with this. And if you don't, it's pretty much an invitation for more of this stuff to keep happening. And if you do, and you're strong and you're brave and you honor that space and honor that boundary of your own, you open up new timelines where new beautiful experiences and people can come into your life. And so the ultimate self-care is truly honoring your boundaries. So I trust that that serves. If you'd like to connect, you can subscribe to this channel below, or you can pop into the link to my website and connect with me there. And yes, honor your boundaries. Hold yourself in that beautiful high regard where you're only available for things that really make you feel good and resonate with your soul. So lots of love. Mwah. Write your own story. See you soon.